Okay, so
Let's do
let's not.
Purdy first. What did we learn about Purdy in this game?
Okay, I'm going to start off in a way that you're not going to expect. I watched your grades, and you gave him a B minus.
Mhm.
And I, by the way, I understand why you gave him a B minus. And on the stats, he does. It was a fair grade, and it was an appropriate grade. If I were grading him, I would have given him an A.
Hmm.
And I'm going to tell you. So this is how I'm going to get into a discussion of him.
Sure.
He wasn't great. His passer rating wasn't great, and he threw 2 picks, and they were bad. They were bad, but he won the game.
Hmm.
When it mattered, he put everything behind him, and he
Yes.
won the game.
No
And
question.
I think you get extra credit for winning the game, for staring down not only the Eagles, but yourself, staring down your own failures twice and saying, I don't care. That's in the past. I'm going to win. So I grade him up on that. I give him an A or an A minus on being the guy who finally took the team on his back and won it for them at the very end. He did. I know
Did he
you don't
though?
agree.
Here's why I'm gonna stand by my B minus. And I like what you said, but to me, he had two good drives in that game. The first drive of the game and the last drive of the game. The first drive of the game was quick. It was explosive. It was impressive. And the last drive of the game was extremely clutch. It was great. Between that, I mean, he didn't do a lot, and he threw 2 picks.
No, he
And
did.
the go ahead touchdown was not him. It was the wide receiver. So
Yes.
Kyle Shanahan had like the game of his life. He got help from a wide receiver throwing a touchdown. And at the very end, in spite of everything that had happened, he was great. And Jalen Hurts was not. And I think you do get a lot of credit for winning the game with the game winning drive at the very end. Like ultimately, no one will remember what he did before that final drive in this game in 10 years from now. It won't even matter. But that's why I gave him the B minus. Maybe that's too hard. But I feel like I used to be harsh on Jimmy because Jimmy would do that kind of stuff. He would throw 2 picks, they'd score 23, and then all of a sudden he would have this one drive at the end of the game where he was pretty good and they'd win. It's like, where did that come from? How could you do that for 55 minutes and then do that for 5 minutes? So I don't know. He's way better than Jimmy G, but I just wanted to be consistent.
Anyway, Jimmy's history. He's not even in our conversation. Jalen Hurts couldn't do it. Stroud couldn't do it. He would in that position. Certainly, Aaron Rodgers couldn't do it. For me, he rose to the situation, and in spite of everything, he was heroic. So I give him an A minus or an A. But you're asking, what did we learn about him? We learned he throws picks, which we already knew. In fact, on one of them, I think it was the first one, Brady, who is very good at this stuff, showed how he had a receiver open on the right hand side, and he said he should have thrown the ball to him. And instead, he threw to the left and threw a pick. You could blame it on Kyle or you could blame it on the quarterback, but certainly Brady was blaming it on the quarterback. Um, so, what we learned about him is he has in every game some bad plays. But in this, really the game of his life, he was able to overcome that. And I think that's a big deal. And he was able in those moments to shoulder the team, not just to be a game manager. I give him a lot of credit for that. I think what I learned about him is he has the ultimate quarterback temperament. He doesn't let failure get in his way. He doesn't dwell on it. He feels, I'm going to do it next time. That's how Joe was. That's how Montana was. It's. I'm not saying this kid is as good as Joe. Believe me, I'm not. But in terms of temperament, it's required. Favre had that. Joe had that. Peyton Manning had that. It's required. You just put it behind you. I think, and I learned he's the ultimate quarterback in terms of his mind and emotions.
I think we knew that already about him. I think it reinforced things we already knew. To me, this was a lot like his performance against Chicago 2 weeks ago. I mean, it was a close game, and in a close game, you feel like he's going to win it. And what was interesting against Seattle, They almost were able to put it into a close game at the end where it would come down to the final possession, but then there was that interception that wasn't necessarily 100% Brock Purdy's fault. And then they were down 2 scores and it was over. But if you get the Niners in a scenario where it's a 4-point game with 3 minutes left and he has the ball, you feel like he's going to, even if he's played poorly, even if he's thrown 8 picks, you feel like he's going to have confidence. He's going to move the ball down the field. He's not going to be passing up open receivers. He's going to be letting it rip. And that's a great thing because I don't have that confidence in many quarterbacks. I feel like Caleb Williams has a little bit of that in him. I don't think Darnold has it in him. Stafford has it. I don't know that anyone else in the NFC has. Jalen clearly didn't have it. God, he was awful. But we're not talking about him.
Yeah, and so he has these qualities that you compare him to Stafford, to the guy who may be the MVP, to an elite quarterback. Elite quarterbacks have that. Now, I'm not saying he's an elite quarterback, but he's pretty damn good. And at the end of that game, he was elite. So that's what I say about him. And I'll even say more. We've gone back and forth on his contract, which isn't our business in a way anyway. It's the Niners' money. But certainly in the game yesterday, in spite of all his faults, he showed why they paid him all that money.
And also the argument is, well, if you pay him, then you can't pay other people, then and it guts your team. Yeah, but they have Eric Kendricks. It doesn't matter. They have Garrett Wallow. It doesn't. Every time someone goes down or they have to lose someone in free agency, they get someone you've never heard of, and it's like, yeah, they're still good. Doesn't matter. So
See,
maybe it doesn't matter.
that's a question I want you to ask tomorrow. I want
Who is Garrett Wallow? With all due respect, Kyle, who is this guy?
No, that's not how you ask it. You say, Kyle, Kendricks and Waller were very impressive. How did the 49ers hear about them? What was the process that you got them? How did you know they would be good?
Yeah, I was going to ask it the other way. Thanks for telling me. I'll do it that way. I like your way better.